Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique. For those of you that are new here, I started sharing my journey as a medical laboratory student about a year ago, and I've just completed my 4th semester of my 5-semester program. So your girl got 14 months down, 4 more to go. If you haven't watched my other semester recaps, please check them out. This was my first semester of clinical rotations in the medical laboratory, and I'll be talking all about it in this video. So how the series is structured: I discuss in depth what I've learned, what I've struggled with, and what I look forward to in the coming semester. So we'll get started with what I've learned. This summer, I rotated through hematology, coagulation, and chemistry departments. Basically, the point of clinicals is to have the experience to participate in all aspects of the laboratory. So this includes learning the ins and outs of being a lab tech. So aspects of automation, operation, instrument maintenance, quality control, sample verification, patient result interpretation, and troubleshooting technical issues. These all give an in-depth application of the principles and techniques that I learned in school, but it shows me how everything works in the real world in a medical laboratory job setting, which this semester I was placed at an acute care hospital and a reference clinic lab. So for hematology, I learned CBCs and differentials. That's a complete blood count and all the lab tests that go with that and how to interpret them. I also learned coagulation studies and basically how to correlate test results to disease states and critical values. I got to test samples like blood and body fluids, so cerebral spinal fluid, pleural fluid, abdominal fluid, abscess fluid, like all kinds of different things. I feel like I spent the bulk of my time learning about instrumentation and QC and documentation though, that kind of stuff. So I learned how to use the Beckman Coulter DXH 800, the Unicell, so it included the slide maker, which was pretty cool, the stable compact max, the PFA 100 for platelet function, ISED for ESR, and a few other instruments that I don't remember right now, but I did get a chance to see semen analysis in the hematology department. And I got to observe the cell division, which lets you do a differential and a cell count digitally. So that was pretty cool. Oh, and of course the microscopes. Like I spent so much time using freaking microscopes this clinical rotation that there were multiple days where I just felt so motion sick. And because of that, I can't really say that I like hematology that much. But like I know that that was for training purposes only, and it's not really done like that on the day-to-day basis. But hours and hours and hours at the microscope, oh my goodness. Anyway, so for this clinical practicum, I had like written training plans to follow and performance evaluations and all that kind of stuff under direct supervision. For chemistry, the department that I was in was fully automated, so there were no manual tests. Topics included like immunochemistry, therapeutic drug monitoring, toxicology, special chemistry, and then correlating all the different kinds of tests to disease states and critical values. So I did call several critical potassiums. So I got the chance to experience that. And the bulk of chemistry is quality control, troubleshooting instruments, and kind of process improvement. So the supervisor's goal was to improve efficiency. There were some days where I'd look at the pending list and it'd be over 600, 700 tests, like samples just in chemistry alone. So I could see how focusing on efficiency would allow them to handle like the work volume better, because that was a lot. As far as QC goes, like, oh my goodness, that right there could make or break your whole day. And it was a little overwhelming sometimes. They had 3 Roche Cobas 8000s, and I'd take on responsibility for startup on one of them each morning. And then that included like maintenance and QC before we could begin patient testing every morning. So if the QC ain't right, that could steal a lot of time that day and also delay patient testing for hours. So it was a lot of pressure. And then troubleshooting had me feeling like almost an engineer. Some of the stuff was easy software fixes, but other things like light bulbs, like we had a photometer bulb blow out. So we basically took apart the entire module, piece by piece, part by part, just to get to this itty bitty section with this delicate wiring that you couldn't cross or touch or do anything with, just to change this little light bulb. So it was a lot, but I think I found it really fun. And I don't know if it was because of the reference lab setting, because I don't know what the workflow is going to be like in a hospital. I didn't rotate in a chemistry department in a hospital. So how they do things is going to be totally different than what I experienced at the reference lab. They tried to explain it to me, but I have to see it for myself to understand. So for this clinical practicum, same thing with hematology. They use written training plans, performance evaluations, and then supervision to kind of train me up. But I can say that all the stuff I've seen in chemistry, like I feel really confident going into the real world as a baby tech. I don't think I'd have an issue getting started working in chemistry. I don't have the same sentiments for hematology, but of course, every lab is different. So hopefully, you know, wherever I go to work at, they do hematology a little different. Now that I've gotten through my first 2 rotations, I do feel a lot better about entering this field. Like, it's still a little nerve-wracking for me because each rotation is working at a whole new facility, whole new supervisor, a whole new team of people in the lab. So I haven't necessarily gotten comfortable yet with meeting so many different people. So it's really a lot of having to come out of my comfort zone. Prior to this, like literally all of my jobs have been working independently on my own. Like I've never had coworkers or a sense of team where I had to like depend on people. Last time I did that was in high school when I played sports for volleyball and soccer. So besides that, like my biology jobs have been working on my own. I'm so used to being independent and by myself. Like I feel that did help me out a lot going into clinical rotations because I just have a sense of urgency when it comes to learning things. Like I try to learn them really quickly because at work, I've never had anyone there to ask questions if I didn't know what to do. I basically had to figure it out for myself. Even when I worked in an academic lab for aquatic research, like I was on my own. Sometimes the PI was there with me, but it was always brief and we didn't talk about what I was actually doing in the lab. Like we talked about like unrelated stuff. So like when I did do that job, I was shown what I needed to do that first day and I was on my own after that. So back then my job was to culture brine shrimp from eggs. So basically grow them up from eggs to feed them to the larval fish. And then I'd have to keep up and maintain this culture while also like checking the signs of sickness in the fish to make sure that they were okay. Anyway, all off topic. But dependency is something that I'm learning how to navigate so that I can be ready to adjust to work with a team of people when I begin working in this field. Just very exciting. This is also a time where I'm working on building my confidence. So when things go wrong, like with the analyzers, I try to take notes on how to resolve the issue so that if it happens again, I know what to do. So like at the beginning of my chemistry rotation, I knew there was something wrong with the analyzers because the alarm would go off, but I would still have to go get somebody to help me. But over time, like I began to learn how to resolve the issues so that if it happened again, I can handle it. So that part of building my critical thinking skills has been fun for me. You know, just the whole process of troubleshooting. It's like putting a puzzle together for some things, especially troubleshooting QC. Trying to figure out like what the heck went wrong. Like, oh my goodness. So I am about to begin my 5th and final semester next week in medical laboratory school. Honestly, I just look forward to applying to jobs. Like, hopefully by the time I film my 5th semester recap, I'll have a full-time job. Hopefully. I've spent the summer looking into hospitals at various locations, so I do know which healthcare systems I want to work for. I just don't know which of their specific hospitals I would like to work at. As far as my clinical sites for fall go, I'm going to a small acute care hospital and then to what I consider a rural hospital. So for the rest of my clinical sites, to be honest, like the experience I had in acute care hospital was kind of like, the takeaway that I have is that it's kind of slow paced, which you would think I'd want to work at a less stressful first job. But I noticed that the more downtime I have, the more stressed I am. And that's just me. Like I get antsy, I start pacing and just trying to find things to do to pass the time. Don't know why I'm like this, but my assumption is that if I have a moderate to high workload, like I won't have time to be in my head because I'll have something to do. Like I'll have too much to do, hopefully. I'll have too much to do to be getting stuck in my head, basically. Kind of like how it was at my chemistry rotation, which was a reference clinic lab. Like we were always busy and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that fast-paced environment, and I didn't get that same experience during my first rotation. Just if that makes sense. I don't know. But overall, at the moment, I'm looking forward to working and gaining experience while hopefully getting some good pay out of school. Those are my short-term goals over the next 6 months. I do have some goals lined up for the next few years or so, but right now I still have a mountain to climb as I enter my final semester and get ready for like my ASCP exam and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully I'll remember to vlog my experience of applying to jobs and going through interviews, taking ASCP, like all that kind of stuff this fall, because, you know, God willing, I'll be graduating in December. So my channel will have a smooth transition from med lab student to new grad med technologist at the end of the year. And then I'll see where life takes me from there, because I'm considering a few things in the near future, like in the next few years, like grad school and traveling and stuff. So part of me like wants to go ahead and get the master's out of the way, but part of me truly wants a break from school and just time to enjoy my baby tech life. So we'll see. I don't know, like I just really keep coming back to the idea of doing something in infectious disease. So I'm only 23. I have years ahead of me to decide on what's next. It's just I am an obsessive planner, so I like to see all the different routes that my life can go. So that is just where all this talk is coming from. But you know, I'm just rambling at this point. So back to the present. I have fall semester left, a couple more months. This includes a few more clinical rotations and some certification exam review modules, my capstone project, and job prep stuff. So a lot is happening in this short span of time. I do want to thank you guys for chatting with me on the completion of my 4th semester in medical laboratory school. And thank you guys so much for all the love and support on my channel and on all of my videos. Like, we just reached 800 subs. And that is freaking unbelievable to me. Like, to be honest, when I reached 100 subscribers, I was shook to see my channel get that big. So just to see it grow like this and have so many people reaching out to me saying that my videos have been helping them is just awesome. So I appreciate all of you for taking the time out of your day to watch my content. You know, I do this just for hobby and mainly just to shed light on what it takes to become a lab professional. So yeah, I plan to incorporate more lifestyle content in the near future, just to give some variation on my channel. And honestly, because I'm running out of ideas and nobody really give me suggestions or anything, so I wanted to make content that documents more of my lifestyle journey. So stay tuned for that. And if you have not noticed, this shirt is a lab shirt. Laboratory Life. I got it off of Etsy from, I think it was called SweetSugarHill or SweetSugarHill company or something like that, but I'll link it in the description box below because it's really cute and I just couldn't contain myself when I seen it on the website. So yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with my journey in medical laboratory school.